Hey, this is Glenn.
And this is Mitchell, and this is the 5 Minutes to Launch podcast. And Glenn, tell us about what you've been playing.
So I just recently finished the Resident Evil 3 remake. Um, I played the original Resident Evil 3 back a few years ago on the PS1. It still had held up despite being a PS1 title that released in 2000 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People always say, "Oh, 2 is better than 3," or some people would disagree with that. Uh, Personally, I liked 2 more. Um, but then with this new remake, it was kind of like a second chance for them to kind of go back and rectify any mistakes or change things up. Anyway, they did a really good job, I have to say. This Resident Evil 3 remake is definitely more of a reimagining almost. It's not quite. It's not the original game. Especially the last quarter. I think they kind of went off the rails. They went for almost a completely different game at the very end. Um, but yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. I it was nice to be able to see everything in HD. Raccoon City, it being all messed up. Seeing Nemesis go after you.
So I have a question. Do you think Nemesis or Mr. X is a better antagonist guy to chase you around?
Honestly, Mr. X from 2 is definitely. I feel like he's the better one, just because at least he felt somewhat human, whereas Nemesis is just like this unstoppable thing where it's like, oh, we got him, we killed him, he's dead, and then the next cutscene like 5 minutes later, oh no, he's back, we didn't get him, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll throw like grenades and like rocket launchers and stuff at him, and like, yes, he fell into the river, we got
We
him,
got him. He's in the river. We can't
and
get
then
him there.
and then the next minute they're like, oh no, he's back.
Yeah. The from what I've seen, it seems like Mr. X is much more of a slower stalker that sort of makes him
Mm-hmm.
more intimidating as opposed to this unstoppable force that is Nemesis that just keeps following you in a way that it doesn't always feel. I don't know. I don't want to say it doesn't feel natural, but it's sort of he just shows up again. And you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
uh-oh.
And that is something else I want to say is that in this remake, Nemesis, he doesn't really like he appears in a lot of places, but you mostly just see him in boss encounters. Like in the original game, he basically felt like he was everywhere. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you could hear those big, heavy boo boo, footsteps going around, especially whenever you were in the safe rooms. That was always scary. Uh, Here I don't know. He was like he was basically a boss,
Yeah, he,
more or
he just
less.
kind of showed up for boss fights, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he does follow you around in some parts, but it just barely was.
But he has like a weird like super jump, right? Where he kind
Yes.
of like dash around. It made him feel too agile.
Yeah, that's the thing is since they wanted him to spawn anywhere, he can just drop out of the sky, and he can yeah, like as you said, just super jump into the scene. Resident Evil 3 also has this new remake also includes like a multiplayer mode. It's a mode where somebody's like a mastermind, and then the other players kind of have to go through all these traps the person laid out. But um, I don't really care too much about multiplayer games, so I didn't really check that out. But
Mm.
but overall, the remake of Resident Evil 3 was highly enjoyable. Um, I feel like if you're interested, um, it's good to check out both games just because you can see what they both did and which one's the better of the two.
Mm.
Because I mean, honestly, they are completely different games.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically our review of or my review of Resident Evil 3, the remake. They really needed to add like a subtitle to it. I felt like.
Oh well. And that is basically it for this time. guess we'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you guys.